everyone's well. So I thought I'd just do a quick video about this portal that we're in right now. So we're going through an extreme period of soul growth. We started on the 1/11 or 11/1 and is moving through to the full moon, which is practically coming up on 11/1. So it's really that period of time. But also, the full moon's 12th or the 13th. So, it's pretty much the same. It's a weekend, I think. Is it a weekend? I think it is. Anyway, so what I've been noticing so far is, first of all, everybody's going through really big challenges, soul challenges. Higher self is testing them big time. I've had loads of people come to me for readings, more like since the beginning of November. It's only a couple of days, and I've had for quite some time actually. So, and it's all with challenges, anxiety, anger, all this stuff coming up. There's a lot of that. So basically, when we got to talk about it from divine path perspective, twin flame perspective, because your energy is not your own. So with all these things that go on, it is a shared energy field. So it's like you're not always feeling your own feelings. So sometimes it can be quite unusual or mysterious or strange what's coming up in you. Like you feel fine one minute and then you start to feel loads of anxiety. Because it's the masculine energy and it's in somebody else. Anything that's coming from a negative place or an egoic place is masculine energy. And if it's happening in the other person that you're connected to, you're going to feel it as well. So, because it's soul growth, this portal, and it's for the masculine energy. Do you remember they said to me in that video I put out a couple of months ago, which was becoming the fearless one. So that's starting from like 1st of November, basically, with this journey is about awakening as well. So the feminine awakens, and whoever's working from the feminine energy, so that's, who's in awareness of the journey, basically. They start to move along a pathway which is bringing them into more connection with the higher self, operating from the higher self, extinguishing the ego, moving away from working from ego, acknowledging the inner child, healing the inner child, the three energies that are contained within one person, basically, higher self, lower self, inner child, all working together. And that's the journey itself inside the one person, but it's connected to the other person as well, who's going to be going through the same process, but in a way that is not acknowledged. And what happens is, as the feminine moves through the journey, it gets to a certain point where it no longer can remain unacknowledged in the one holding the other one holding the energy, the one who's working from the masculine perspective, which is the one that's not in awareness of the journey, but is also being prompted through to soul growth. So what's happening now at this time, between 11/1 and through to the moon, which is a healing moon because it's Taurus, it's very masculine as well, Taurus, is healing the masculine energy, soul growth for the masculine energy, prompting them into awareness of what their soul really requires from them, releasing a lot of ego, so releasing anxiety, anger, etc., moving onto their soul path, moving into coming into their soul perspective. So they're going to be answering to their soul. That's soul growth, answering to the soul. You've got two parts of you inside yourself, just two we'll talk about, right? Lower self, ego, which is the monkey mind, the chatter in the mind, the negative part of you, the part that believes in the matrix only, the physical reality only. You've got the soul part of you, which is the higher self, which is the part of you that knows that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, basically. Everything that is in existence is not visible from the physical eye. In fact, everything that's in existence, there's like 99% of it is beyond the physical eye. So basically the matrix is just a veil, like they say, lifting of the veil at Halloween, which we've just been through, because the matrix is a veil to what's actually going on energetically. And there's, which is everything, basically. The soul is everything. So, so right at this moment, we've got the masculine energy being called to answer to their soul's perspective. So that's huge soul growth. So, physical unions happening. Masculine energy is prompted to move forward, speak up, own their truth. This kind of thing going on. And of course, because if they are not yet answering to their soul, or if their ego is still strong enough, so strong that it's telling them to not answer to their soul, what's going to happen in this portal right now, soul growth, is that the ones who are working from the feminine perspective are going to be experiencing that coming through. So they're going to be feeling that anxiety, and they're going to be feeling that it's like what happens when you don't answer the call of your soul is that there's a pain. There's pain is felt in terms of anxiety and strong emotion and resist, because it's resistance. When you don't answer your soul's truth, it's resistance that comes up. It's going to come up in many, many different ways, and the feminine is going to be experiencing that right now. So that's really what it's all about if you're going through anything extreme right now. It's not about you at all. It's about soul growth from the masculine, of the masculine, and you feeling what they're going through in a different way. So what do you do around that? Well, time out, basically. Do as little as possible. Rest, sleep. If you're not feeling great, try and release resistance by sleeping. Whatever it takes, really. Go for a run. Whatever is your thing. You know what releases resistance for you. Exercise can do it. A small glass of wine can do it. Why not? Or a small glass of rum or whatever. Baths, bubble baths can do it. Salt baths can do it. There's all the spiritual things that can do it. If that's floats your boat, like crystals and sound baths and all that kind of stuff. Yoga classes, but it doesn't have to be. It can be other things. It can be eating a cake. I don't know. Sleeping for me does it, really. Having a nap. Attempting to meditate and then falling asleep does it for me as well. That's also very good. So, because they need, what do they need? Masculine energy needs everything from the feminine, but they also releasing resistance is required, basically, for the masculine to move through to their truth. I'm not saying you've got to do it for them, right? But I'm saying it's what they're going to ask from you. So that's what's coming up for them. You're going to feel it because you're connected to them. So instead of arguing about it and saying, I don't want to do that for them, or I'm not doing anything for them, or I don't want to be doing this anymore, just go to sleep. Just go to sleep and release the resistance around what's going on. That's the simplest way out of it. When you sleep, you go back to soul. So that's what it is right now. So this week is maybe not going to be an easy week for some. Or for others, it might be easier, those that are more in harnessing more of their soul essence, those have gone further through the journey, that are more in awareness around everything that the journey involves, that are literally working from their soul perspective, so they're in their higher self most of the time, are going to be very, very, very aware of what's going on energetically between the two of them. So they're going to know that this is happening. So they're maybe going to be seeing it in a different way. And they're maybe going to be more able to kind of like function within that framework of what's going on. So more able to kind of like stay in awareness of like the ego coming through, of the anxiety, of the overwhelm, of the negativity, of the anger, the shame, the regret. I mean, it's all those things are like, it could be any one of them, it could be all of them. I had extreme anger myself. Oh, this was amazing. All right, so it happened on 1/11. And I, just for a very short period of time, and I went and had a shower, and I was in my shower, and I was just so furious, so much anger coming up. And I got out of my shower and I went downstairs, and I thought, I'll have a look at the weather. And I got my phone and I looked at the weather, and there was no weather. It was like, the Google app for weather, and it normally says what there is. It was just 2 lines, straight lines. I was like, what's going on? Where's my weather? And the anger had kind of gone. It pretty much just gone. It was like a thunderstorm, basically, like came and went, a summer storm. And then I looked at where it says the type of weather, and it said tornado. and it said ending by 5 p.m. and then just going back to normal weather. And it was 5 p.m. when I looked at it. And suddenly it just went back to normal weather, which here where I live in the north of England is rain. I mean, we don't have extreme weather. We don't have tornadoes. We never, ever, ever have tornadoes in England. And so I knew that that was from my higher self, that message, that basically I'd been the tornado, the anger coming through. And then the weather just went back to normal. But my anger just went. So that made me laugh. And then I got on the game. I got on my GTA, Vice City. And I did a little mission in a taxi, and my reward was $111. So that also made me laugh. So it's like my higher self bringing me messages saying you're through that now, and everything got like all right again. So I'm in a lot of awareness around what's going on, and I'm now at the point where I'm bringing myself little messages around what's going on that are even funny. So that's really good. But you might not be there yet, or you might be. Some people are, some people aren't. But if you're not, then that's why I'm doing a reading, so that you can understand that it's all got a bigger meaning than what you think it has. It's not you getting angry. It's not you getting anxious. It's like, I had one person come to me for a session. She's like, I'm getting some anxiety coming up around something that I do all the time. Like it's unusual. No, well, it's not, because it's not your anxiety, you see, that's coming up. That's why it'd be coming up around something that you normally don't get anxious about. I'm going to pull some cards and see what they say. I mean, I'm personally feeling really, really good today. Really, really high energy. So I think it's also like up and down and crazy like that. 1 minute angry, next minute fine. I'm being guided to do nothing. It's one of those, I've had 3 days now where I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what shall I do? What inspired action am I being guided to do? Nothing. Do nothing. Do as little as possible. So I'm still in that place with that. So I know that that's also, I've got my ego in there going, well, that's lazy. You're being lazy again. But I know that that's not the truth. So because I know we work from a vibrational perspective now. So my ego's not going to get a look in telling me what I should be doing. I work now from my higher self, which says do nothing, and I do nothing. And then that's going to facilitate bringing everything in. What else can I tell you? This was very interesting. So on the 1-1 as well, the 111, I woke up in the morning and I was down in the. I've got a brilliant window here. I look out into the garden, can see all the birds. I've got bird feeders in my tree, and I'm always asking for more wildlife, to come in the garden. And I've seen some really amazing wildlife so far. Not every day. It's normally just the songbirds that come, But anyway, I was sitting here and suddenly this hawk flew into my bird feeder. The bird feeder next door, I see him, he flew in it like he didn't even know where he was going. And I was like, oh my God, there's a hawk. And I couldn't see him properly because he was over the fence. And then he just like flew himself, like in a real like odd way, into my tree and just like landed there and sat there for a bit. And I was like having a look at him, and then he just got up and he flew off again. So it wasn't like he was there for the bird feeders. And I knew when I saw him and he came and he went, I bought him because he didn't look like he wanted to be there at all. He looked like he was completely not knowing why he was in my garden, the poor hawk. Because I'd bought him. I'd said I want wildlife, and specifically on 111, I was proving to myself that I can draw anything into my experience that I want, purely from wanting it, including the poor hawk that had no idea why he was there, apart from I pulled him in through wanting him. And that led to, it didn't lead to, but then later on that day I had that anger that I told you about, and then after the anger, I was really guided. There's a place that I'm going to go and live. I've already been told where it is, and it's where I'm going to live with my twin. And I really want to go there now. I mean, I really, really want to go there. I do love where I am, and I love the birds, and I love the garden, but I really want to go to this place. I can't go on my own because it takes a visa, and it takes having to have the abilities and the skills to be given a visa, and I don't have that anymore. And I'm also too old to like go, be like entering into trying to get it. So, but I need to go to this place, and I need to be living in this place, and I've got to get there somehow. And I know my twin wants to go to this place, and I know that he's got all the skills that can get a person to this place, more than enough skills and accomplishments to be getting to that place. And I was guided to manifest me going to that place. So I was guided to ask to go to that place, basically, and to really put it out there as I'm going to live in that place, like one way or another. I'm getting to that place. I'd also been given a timeline to get to that place, and I'm like, no, I'm not having that timeline. I want a sooner timeline than that, because they're giving me like I won't say what it was, but it extends out a few years, and I was not happy with that. So it's like, I want to go there now. I want to be going this like next year, 2020, to that place. I don't want to be here any longer. That's where I need to be. That's where I want to be. That I'm going to get. So bring me someone to get me to that place. And when I put that out there, I knew that is going to make my twin come back to me pretty much like that hawk that came into my garden that didn't even want to, because it's part of my twin's path as well to go to that place. And he's got to go there, and he's got to take me there, so he's got to come back. So it's just like another little string to the bow, basically, of pulling in the manifestation. Because part of my manifestation had been out there that I want him to come back. Now that's asking for a person, and that can be tricky because a person has got free will. But asking for the place, there's a lot less resistance in me getting to that place than there is in asking for a person. There's also a lot less, it's very general. Just get me to that place, bring me whoever is going to bring me to that place. Now, I could say, well, then it could be somebody else that's going to come in and bring me to that place. Because, yeah, and that's entirely true. It could be, right? So when I say that, and when I ask for somebody to come in and take me to that place, that is stirring up a crescendo of soul energy in my twin, basically. Because what he knows from that is, if he doesn't get me to that place, somebody else is going to get me to that place. So he better get a move on and get his arse into gear and get me to that place. Or come back and get me to that place, because if not, I'm going there one way or another, with or without him. So that happened as well on 111. So there's been some really strong stirrings of, karmic ordering, basically, soul ordering. And between twins that are energetically connected, look, you do speak to them. You speak to them whenever you're in ego, and you're talking to that, your ego's talking. It's basically talking to them. You speak to them for your higher self as well. You're speaking to them the whole time, constantly in communication. Internal dialogue is communication between two twins. So all the internal dialogue you have within yourself is that. So yeah, he's been like pulled to me like that hawk, basically. So I thought I'd tell you that as well. So it's really profound right now what's going on. I'm going to put out some cards and see what the cards say. So we've got Ten of Pentacles, completion in the physical world, strength, willpower. Four of Swords, meditation, or sleeping or napping, but generally meditation, quietening the mind, basically. Feminine energy, Queen of Pentacles, fear, right in the middle. Seven of Swords, fear. Ace of Wands, manifestation and potential, and creating manifestation as well. Creation, basically. Creation through energy. Focus, it says. Focus. The world, completion, the end of the story, the end of the journey. King of Pentacles, manifestation of the physical aspect of the union. The person that contains the masculine, works from a masculine perspective. Knave of Swords, message. We talked about message before, being a lightning style message, email, text, could be phone call. And underneath we've got Ten of Swords, which is completion around the mind. Mind being the ego being the fear. So you can see how that is all, we've got completion going on around the fear, which is what's coming up right now. Coming up in the feminine in relation to the masculine, but not about the masculine necessarily. It could be about anything, but it's just fear coming up. Fear. And then what we have got on the fear is Eight of Wands, movement forward. And on the Ten of Swords, which is underneath, we've got shared energy field, Six of Pentacles. You can see in this deck, it's like rainbow bridge, which is shared energy between masculine and feminine. So movement forward, basically. So it's actually a really good week energetically, even though what's coming up in the physical in terms of like feeling and experiencing it is not going to be pleasant. It's movement, and movement is always good. Movement towards being in the soul's truth, basically. But all fear has got to be extinguished before you can come into that truth. Even though you extinguish all the fear from your energy field, so you're in a perfect position to manifest whatever you want into your life from a high vibration, you're still moving through the masculine energies, fear, until they've released all their fear. But once you're in a prime vibration, they have got to get into that prime vibration, and you're going to be guided to do whatever it takes to get you into that prime vibration. And then you see, it's almost like you pull away from them in every sense. But you're not pulling away, because you can't pull away because you're connected. So all that happens is you pull them into that vibration. They will go willingly or not, right? They're being pulled out of their ego, is what they are. So they're being pulled out of all doubt and all, even through doubt, right? I can say personally, from my own personal perspective, my twin is being pulled, whether he wants to go or not. Right? So it's like he might be feeling a lot of pain right now in terms of what he's got to do, but he's got to do it because it's his soul truth. So he's going to do it, like it or not, he's got to do it. He's got to face the music and dance. I keep saying that as well. It's time to face the music and dance. So Ten of Pentacles, we've got success, so finishing things off in the physical world. So it's like, well, we know what that is. Now, Four of Pentacles, a now moment, Knave of Swords, so that is the message, basically any moment now. Four of Swords, and that is brand new beginnings, Ace of Pentacles coming out on that. So you meditate to create, but you also meditate to release resistance. I said this in the reading just now for somebody. When you are in a really good vibration, you're going to meditate to create. When you're in a negative vibration, it's best to meditate and go to sleep to release all resistance. So no mind works either way, basically. You're either using it to release all resistance to what you want, or you're using it to create. It doesn't matter either way. You just got to work with whatever energy is you're experiencing in the moment. So if you're experiencing loads of anxiety and worry and stress, then it's not a perfect time to be meditating and creating, but it's a perfect time to go to sleep. If you're feeling really, really high and really like filled with like the joy of life, it's a perfect time to create and manifest more of that through that energy, because you want to manifest only through pure happiness, because then you get better things and better things and better things, right? So you've got to work with the energy, whichever way it is at that particular time of day in terms of what you're manifesting. World. Mother Earth. So Mother Earth completes the feminine energy completes the journey basically through her energy field. It's through a complete adaptability to whatever energy is at the moment that's coming from the masculine, because you are therefore in control of their journey, right? So you're vibrationally in control of their journey. So you might not be in control when you're in the anger and that anger's coming through. But then, you know, like I say, I was guided to make a different manifestation to complete his journey once that anger was through. Or create a new manifestation, I should say, not a different one. I've already got that manifestation out that he's coming back, but I could create a different one. As in, I am going to this place now. Whether he likes it or not, I'm going now. So somebody else can bloody come in and get me there if he's not coming right now. So, didn't say it like that. I might have said it like that a little bit. Willpower, strength, manifestation masculine energy as well. It's actually, when you do get like that a bit, when you talk to your twin like that, and you're like, I'm having this now, whether you like it or not, basically. I'm going to have it a different way, whether you like it or not. It's quite powerful. It's quite powerful in what it does in terms of their energy field and makes them do. You're feeling anxiety, right? It's coming through you because there's something that you haven't got in your life. Your life is not moving on because they're not there, and there's a place you've got to go and live together, and then life is going to be very, very different. It's like having that physical person in the room, and they're saying, oh, I don't want to go yet. I don't want to go yet. I'm not ready yet. So saying within your energy field, well, actually, mate, if you're not going, that's fine, but I'm going. So it gives them a bit of a kick up the arse, and it's going to make them move forward because it's turning the tables on that anxiety that you're feeling or that anger that you're feeling, saying, I'm not having this. I don't want this anymore. Death, transformation, King of Pentacles. You see, you transform the energy. It's about transforming energy, this journey, and becoming the power that you come into through the shared energy field, and understanding that energy field, and understanding how it works, and understanding how you manifest through it and apart from it, and that you're the one in control of it, not them. Bringing them to conclusion. Queen of Pentacles, pain. I told you, you see, it's going to be coming through in pain. You're going to be feeling their pain because they're being what they're living is opposed to what they're supposed to be doing in whatever way that is. It might not be manifesting the physical union at this point for some people, but it might be manifesting them out of a relationship. It might be manifesting them out of a job. It might be manifesting them into a different location. It's manifesting their soul growth for them is what that anxiety and anger and everything that's coming through you is, because it's tearing them away from the wrong path and bringing them onto the right path through how you're experiencing the energy coming through your emotional field. Right? It's painful for them. It's going to be painful for you. You're feeling their pain of them being brought onto their soul path. Ace of Wands, King of Wands. So you're manifesting them through to their onto the right path, right? You're dragging them through onto their where they need to be. Let's have another one on there. Relationship. Another one. Two of Cups. So that's the divine union, right? So you're bringing them through to eventually, if it's not this, it could be, for a lot of people, it could be this week. A lot of people that have been on this journey as long as I have, it could very, very definitely be this week that they get that message through. What else? Anything else? Nine of Wands, the Wounded Warrior. There's a lot of this is just what I'm getting from my twin, which I'm going to share actually. A lot of stress basically coming through around what they have to do, what he has to do. A lot of, really rather not be doing it kind of energy. Really not having to face the music. But he's got no choice. And there is no alternate timeline. All timelines are tied up. Everything is done. So he's got to move whatever residual fear is left. And ultimately, me switching my manifestation over to wanting to go to that place, going sooner rather than later, he can't not come because he's got to come to take me there. And because we've got that agreement, right, in soul, that is there. It's not going to be anybody else that takes me there. It's like using a magic. It's like using a magic on them. A magic spell, basically, is what I've used. I'm getting him to come now, despite whatever fear he might still be feeling. Moon. There's a moon coming, isn't there? Full moon, Taurus. And what's down here? Hangman, process. Three of Cups, happiness. Three of Wands, momentum. Four of Cups, around the past. Two of Pentacles, two people. Empress rebirth, Knight of Swords clarity, King of Swords masculine energy coming into its truth. So there we have it. So that's what we've got right now, building up this week. So it's going to be a really profound week. It's going to be also very like volatile, the energy. Like I say, it's all for soul growth. People going like, you know, the upside of like feeling all that energy coming through from the masculine and their ego, you know, basically you're pulling them through their ego, right? So you're making them, it's all magic. You're bringing them onto their soul path, right? By you feeling their ego. There's going to be huge leaps of growth inside the feminine energy as well, in terms of their own journeys and what they've been going through and their understanding of that. And more power to them because of that. Just like I got more power come to me with switching around my manifestation a little bit in terms of what I was asking for. And because this ability to manifest anything into your life that you want, because another person is difficult because they've got willpower, right? But anything else isn't. So you understanding the power of manifestation and being able to manifest anything into your life that you want, and knowing that all that's required is your happiness to do that. Forget about everything else that's out there, because there's a lot of information out there and it can be quite confusing when you try and listen to it all and put it all together. All you need to do is set your intention and ask for what you want, and then be happy as if you already have it. And that's as simple as that. Right? It's like I could go start packing my bags now. I know that I'm that sure I'm going to this place. It's a little bit soon because I'll be going next year. But you know, that's how much I know I'm going to be going to that place next year. Which means that I am now become a powerful manifester. Right? So huge leaps of growth for both feminine and masculine energy. And by that I mean the human individual who's operating from the feminine perspective and the one that's working from the masculine perspective. Both of them contain feminine and masculine energy in equal amounts that tip up and down, in and out of balance as this journey goes on, right? But it's the feminine perspective that leads the way, that harnesses the power of manifestation, that brings the union to completion, of energetic completion. And once it's in energetic completion, it moves through the matrix into physical manifestation, as does everything once it's in energetic completion. And energetic completion is served through happiness. Just knowing and happiness, those two things. That's it. All right, I'm going. Lots of love. Hope everyone has a brilliant week. Bye.